In this video, we're going to go through on Methodist Girls School Primary End of Year Examination 2024, Primary 5 Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on the first question, question 16. What is the missing number in the number pattern below? So over here, we see there's 75 and then it becomes 61. Then 47 is to 33, something else, and it becomes 5. So normally what we can do is you can see what we minus off from 75 to 61. So in this case, we actually minus off 5, right? Okay, so from 75 to 61, no 5, we minus 6 in this case over here, right? Right, maybe I will just put like this. Okay, so it's easier to see, right? And then after that, from 61 to 47, we minus 61 to 47 is 14, right? So 14. Okay, and then for 47 to the 33, we minus, so let me just put this a little bit closer like this. This will be also oh sorry, it should be minus 14. What am I thinking? Right, so minus 14, minus 14, minus 14, right? So over here, what should we minus? 33 minus 14, right? So 33 minus 14, this will give us 20, no sorry, 17 over here, right? Oh sorry, it's not 17, it's 19. Okay, so if I were to put 19 minus 14, right? Oops, not 29, 19 minus 14, this will give us 5. Okay, which is exactly what we want over here. So that means the answer to this is 19, right? Right, so for the 19 minus 14, this is just to double confirm. Okay, so 19 minus 14 should be also 5. So they should be 19. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 17. Find the value of 4 out of 5 times 2 out of 7. Okay, so with that, I think it's pretty straightforward. What we can do is just multiply the numerators and the denominator. So it's 4 times 2, okay, and then 5 out times 7. That's about it, right? Nothing new, nothing special. Okay, so from here we can just calculate. So in this case over here, this 4 times 2 is equal to 8, and 5 times 7 is equal to 35. That's it. That's it. So 8 of 35, and that's the answer. Okay, so you can write in the answer 8 of 35. Okay, it's pretty small for this. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next question, question number 18. All right, so in this case, find the value of 1 minus 1/3 minus 2/5. So in this case, what we want to do is we can say find lowest common multiple of 3 and 5, which is 15. Okay, so I think it's pretty straightforward. So for one whole number, this should be 15 out of 15. Okay, then for 1 out of 3, so in this case, if we want to get 15, then we just have to multiply this. Okay, so we can just times 5 in this part over here, and then we can times 5 as well at the top, and then 25 is we multiply this by 3. Okay, so I think let me just put this in a bigger number, right? I mean bigger size. Okay, so basically 1 minus, okay, we have 1/3, so just grab this. So 1 minus 1 over 3, okay, and then we just multiply 5 over here, and then we minus again, in this case 2 out of 5. Okay, so in this case we'll just put this thing over here, put 2 out of 5, and then we multiply this by 3. Okay, and then we multiply this by 3 as well. So from here, what we can get is 15 minus, because 15 of 15 is 1, 1. And then after that, 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, and then next one is 2 times 3. What do you think 2 times 3 will give us? This will give us 6 out of 15. Okay, so, right, so 5 then minus 6 out of 15. Okay, so from here, we can make this into a whole, like, since all the denominators are the same, we can say 15. I'll put in the middle. 15 minus 5 minus 6, which is basically 11 minus 15 in this case over here, right? So 15 minus 11, right? Okay, so this is equal to 15 minus 11. And what is 15 minus 11? This will give us 4. 4 out of 15. Okay, we can't simplify it as much, but that's the answer to this question. 4 out of 15. All right, so the answer is 4 out of 15. There you go. Okay, all right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 19. Express 5 over 8 as a decimal. All right, so we can either, let me think. There's two ways to do this. You can either have the number 8 to be a decimal of 10, 100, or 1000, or you can just manually have 5 divided by 8 lah. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So we have 5 divided by 8. So in this case, it's gonna be 0.0, something like this. So we can put here 48 minus 48, right? In this case, or 4.8. So that means for 8 over here, it should be 0.6. So 6 times 8 is 48, right? And this will give us 2, right? So 2, we cannot minus 8, 0, 20, and then we minus 16. So minus 16, right? So what is 16? Is 2 times 8. Okay, I'm going to make this line a little bit longer, like this. And then this will give us 4, right? We get another 0, right? And then luckily we can have 40 minus 40. Okay, and this will give us 0 in this case over here. All right, so what is 40? Which is 6 to 5 times 8. So with this, the answer to this is 0.625. Okay, that's the answer, 0.625. There you go. All right, let's move on to question 20. So arrange these distances from the shortest to the longest. So the shortest to the longest, what can we do? We can, let me think. So I think we can convert this to this format over here. So for first, in this case over here, 1.35 kilometers is equal to 1.35 times 1000, and this will give us 1350 meters. Okay, let's convert all into meters. Okay, so then this will then become 1 kilometers is 1 km is 1000 plus 305. This will give us 1305 meters. Lastly over here, so what can we convert this into? So this can be a decimal. So in this case, we can multiply this by 2 for the 5 over here, right? Multiply this by 2, multiply this by 2, and this will give us, right, 1/6 out of 10 kilometers, which is equal to 1.6 km, which is equal to, in this case, 1600 meters. Okay, so from here, I think we can kind of understand which one is the biggest. So the biggest is this one, okay, 1.35, or longest, sorry, longest. And then the smallest is this one, shortest. Okay, so in this case, that means we will put here 1, 3 out of 5. Okay, or I'll just put the whole, the 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 fraction itself, 1 3 out of 5. Okay, the longest. And then after that, the shortest will be 1 km 305 meters, and the middle part will be 1.35 kilometers. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 21. All right, question 21. In the figure, AFC and BFD are straight lines. Okay, so straight lines, AFC and BFD. Okay, so I'm just gonna go draw this. All right, so in this case, it says here, find CFE. Okay, so we know that if 48 is this part, then basically CFD, so angle, right? Okay, angle BFE, BFA, sorry, A is equal to angle CFD, CFD in this case over here. Right, so that means these two will be equal to 48 degrees. So opposite angles are always the same. So with this, since we know, okay, let me put a um, red here as well. So this one, okay, and this one, right, okay, is 48 degrees. That's what we see over here, right? 48 degrees. All right, so from that, I think we can get angle CFE, which is equal to 48 minus 22. This is 26 degrees. So I see over here. So the answer is 26. All right, mine red, mine black. Let me put it in black. Okay, 26 degrees. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 22. All right, so it says here 6,000 milliliters of water was poured into 5 containers equally. How many liters of water were there in one container? So, 5 containers is equal to 6,000 milliliters or 6 liters, right? I'm just going to put 6,000 first. Okay, so then one container is equal to 6,000, and then we divide it by 5. This will give us 1,200 milliliters. Okay, so we just comma this and comma this as well. Okay, so 60 divided by 5, right? So in this case, how many liters? So 1200 ml is equal to 1200, and then divide it by 1,000, which is equal to 1.2 liters. And that's the answer. Okay, 1.2 liters. Alrighty. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 23, part A. So Gobo listed the factors of 36 below. He missed out 2 factors. What were the 2 missing factors? Okay, so in this case, we can list the factors of 36, right? So 1 times 36, 2 times 18, then 3 times 12, right? Then 4 times 9, 9, and then 5 times nothing, so 6 times 6, right? Then 7, 8, 9. Okay, so in this case, what number are we missing? So we are missing number 9, and we are also missing number 12. So the answer to this is 12 and 9, or 9 and 12. Okay, alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question number 23, part B. Write down all the common factors of 20 and 32. Okay, so we can list down the numbers for 20 and 32. So in this case, for 20, it will be 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3, 4, 4 times 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's 20. All right, so for 32, so let me just put here 32. This will be 1 times 32, 2 times 16, 3 you cannot, 4 yes, 4 times 8, 5 cannot, 6 cannot, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 no, and 7 cannot. Okay, so what are the common factors in this case? All right, so I think pretty straightforward. This and these are the same. All right, let me draw another rectangle here, and then I'm gonna draw the arrows from this to this and this tile over here. Okay, so let me draw the arrows. Okay, so this and this are the same. Same. So that means this is 1, 2, and 4. Let's go. Let's move on to question 24. Okay, the figure below is formed using 4 squares and 4 equilateral triangles. The length of straight line AB is 20 centimeters. Find the parameter of the figure over here. So in this case over here, basically this whole give me my arrow, where's my arrow? Okay, so in this case over here, basically all of this is 20 centimeters, right? 20 centimeters. So technically it uses how many lines for each individual figure? So we have, for example, let me use this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so if one part of the one part of the figure, okay, so basically 5 lines to create one part of the figure, right? So 5 lines are to create one part of the figure. So that means since they are all equal, we just need to multiply the line with 5. So the answer is actually 20 times 5, which is equal to 100 centimeter. Okay, that's it. So 5 lines are to create one part of the figure. Since they are all equal, we just need to multiply the line with 5. That's it. And the answer is actually 100. Okay, so yeah, so since everything is equal basically. So if you were to, for example, ignore all of this, right? Basically, if we know this line over here, right? If this is 20, then you just have it multiplied by 5, correct? So if everything here is equal, we can just multiply this by 5. That's about it. Okay. So I think, yeah, hopefully this makes sense. All right, let's move on to question number 25. Okay, so the graph shows, question 25, the graph shows the fare taxi company charges for the first 10 kilometers. So you have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. How much is the taxi fare for the first kilometers? I blocked this because they have the answer. Okay, so we want to know how many gaps is, or what's the cost for one gap. So in a way, we have 2 gaps over here, and we have $8. Okay, so in this case, 2 gaps is equal to $8. So whoops, not 8%, $8. One gap is equal to 8, and then we divide it by 2, and this is 4. So we know that one gap is equal to $4, right? So in this case, there will be 4. So that means number 1 is $4. Here you go. So that means the answer to uh 25 part A, how much is the taxi fare for the first kilometer? $4. Alright. Okay, let's move on to part B. Alan paid $20 for his taxi ride. What was the distance he traveled? Okay, so we can measure everything here. So 4, and then we have 4 over here as well. And then at 4 kilometers, this is 8. Right? So this is 8. Actually, why not I just put inside the square? Easier, right? To see the dollars for. Oops, wow, damn big. Dollars for. Make this smaller. All right, much better. Okay, so we have dollars for, right? And then for $2, we have also dollars for. Okay, there must be an easier way to do this. So I'm just gonna do that, which is just 4 4. Right, for 4, this is 8. Okay, so not 4, this is 8. Is it 8? And then for 6, 4 plus 8 is 12. All right, so this is 12. Okay, then for 8 over here, what is 8? 8 is 16 plus 4, 20. So that means this is 20. All right, and then last one at 10 kilometers, this is 32. So this is where 32. That's what is it over here. Okay, so that means for Alan paid $20 for his taxi fare is number 8. So this is 8 kilometers. Okay, I'm gonna make this big. All right, over here. All right, so yeah, there we go. So 25B answer is 8 kilometers. Let's move on to question number 26. So question number 26 says the table below shows the local postage rates in Singapore. So mass step first 30 kilogram 30 grams, next 50 grams, and every additional 40 grams. Mr. Lee needs to send a parcel that weighs 138 grams. How much does he need to pay? So in this case over here, he needs to send a parcel that weighs 138 grams. Okay, so first 30 grams, he already paid 30 cents, right? Dollar 0.30. Okay, and then next 50 grams, right? So next 50 grams, he has to pay 50 cents. So this one left with, so 138 minus this is 30, this will become 108 grams. Okay, so after next 50 grams, he's left with, so 108 minus 50, this will become 58 grams. Okay, so now with every additional 40 grams, so number what is this every additional thing 138, so number of additional 40 grams will be equal to 40 grams will be equal to 58, then divided by 40, which is equal to 1, remainder 18, right? Because you can do that, but that means, which is also, if I were to round up, 2. So that means, yeah, you have 240 grams. Okay, so additional cost will be 2 times dollars 0 or 0.6, which is equal to dollars 120. Okay, so then we have the total is equal to 1.2 plus 5 plus 0 0.3. Okay, 0.5 0.3, and this will become $2. That's it. Okay, dollars 2. All right, so the answer to this is 2. Okay, so I also want to put some thing. So note any remainder is count as one um, additional 40 grams or less. Okay, right, so I'll just make it like this with a small caveat to what you see over here. Okay, so any remainder is count as one dish of 40 grams or less. Okay, so there you go. All right, let's move on to 27. So question 27, can cut out 3 identical right-angled triangles, as you see over here. He joined them to form a figure ABCD as shown below. CD is 6 centimeters and AD is 5 centimeters. The perimeter of the figure below is 18 centimeters. Find the area of the figure ABCD. All right, so first thing is we want to get the base of triangle. Okay, it can be a base or height. Okay, I'm going to call it as the base. So the base, I'm going to put here as base. So we have 2 bases, right? So the 2 bases here, right? We have one base and we have two base of this. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a line that is dotted and small. So I'm gonna put this in the middle like this. Then I'm gonna copy and paste. So we have two base over here, right? Okay, so base of triangle. So two base of triangle is equal to 6 centimeter. Then we have one base. One base of triangle is equal to 6 divided by 2. This will give us 3 centimeters. Okay, so now we know one base of the triangle is 3 centimeters. So 3 cm. This is the base. This is the base. And this is also 3 cm. Okay, now we know the parameter as well. So this is also the base, right? This one is also the base. Here you go. This is also the base, right? So this is also the base. I'm going to say base a lot. Okay, so that means we can actually get the height. So I'm going to put an arrow. Okay, this is small, right? And this is the height over here. Okay, height. Okay, so for the height, what we can do is height of triangle, right? Triangle is equal to, we have 18. So this is a lot. So we have 18 minus 3 minus 3 minus 3 or minus 6 lah, right? Minus 6 minus 5. Okay. So this is 14. So this is 4 centimeters. Okay. So that means this is 4 centimeters, which is the height of the triangle. So 18 minus 3 minus 6 minus 5 is 4. Okay, find the area. So one area of triangle is equal to half. Wait, half times base times height, which is equal to half times what's the base is 3 and what's the height is 4. And this will give us, 6 centimeter and then square. Right, so what about 3? Area of triangles is equal to 3 times 6, which is equal to 18 centimeter. Wait, SQU square. And there you go. That's the answer. So the answer to this 18 centimeter square. Ooh, a too tougher one. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 28. So it says here in the figure, QTS and PTR are straight lines. PQ, QR, and RS are equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it out. So PQ over here and QR over here and then RS over here is the same. Okay. Then we have PTS, no PTSD. PTS is 115 and then RST is 25 degrees. Find PQT, right? So the thing is that triangle QRS is a isosceles triangle. Isosceles. Yes. Okay. So that means this over here. Let me just make it small. This one is also 25 degrees. Right. This one over here, 25 degrees. So let me make this here 25. Right. So I'm just gonna write down also lah, right? Angle over here. RQT is equal to angle RST. Okay, so that means this is 25. Okay, and then degrees. All right, so since you know this is 25 degrees, then the next thing is, then also at the same time, wait, let me just put this. We also know that this here, let me just move this here is also 115. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw here. So this angle is 115. Okay, so over here is 115, right? So at the same time, opposite angles are the same. So that means PTS, right? PTS right? PTS is equal to QTR, which is also means that this is 115 degrees. So that means we can get angle QRP. So angle QRP is equal to 180 minus 115 minus 25. So it's 180 minus 140, which is equal to 40 degrees. That's what you see over here. So in this case, we know that this over here is 40 degrees, right? Oops. Okay, 40 degrees, right, in this case. Right, so now I'm just going to color this so it's easier to see. This is green. This 1.5 is, let me make it red, right? And since QRP is, what is this, 40 degrees, that means this is also the same over here. So this is 40 degrees as well, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to draw this as well, okay? But this is green. Wait, this is green. So so we have another triangle that's isosceles as well, which is PQR. PQR. So angle QRP, all right, QRP is equal to angle QPR. QPR, and this is 40 degrees. So that means to find PQT, so angle PQT. So from here, I think you can guess what's the answer, which is 180 minus 40 minus 40 minus 25. So in this case, 40 minus 40 minus 25, right? This is equal to 180 minus 40, 40, 25 is 105, which in this case, 75 degrees. And there you go. That's the answer, 75 degrees. Okay, blank. And all right, there you go. All right, so that's it. And then we can go to the last question. Question says, three friends shared a total cost of 48 apples in a ratio 5 is to 2 is to 1. What was the cost for the largest share? Okay, so in this case, we have total units is equal to 5 plus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 8. 8 units, right? 8 units. So now in this case, total cost is equal to, so basically we have 12 apples is equal to $10, and then to 48 apples is equal to, so I'm going to put the arrow like this. Oops. So from here, from 12 to 48, we need to multiply this by 4, right? Times 4. Okay, so that means 4 times 10, this is $40. Okay, so that means 8 units is equal to 40. So what's the largest share, right? Let's calculate 1 unit first. Okay, 1 unit is equal to 40 divided by 8. This is $5. Okay, put here dollars as well. Okay, then from here, 5 units. So largest share is equal to 5 units. So in this case, 5 units equal to 5 times 5 is equal to $25. There you go. And that's the answer, $25. Okay, question number 30. So Mary had a new bottle of fish food. She feeds an equal amount of fish food to her fishes each day. At the end of the 18th day, 1/7 of the bottle was left. At the end of the 19th day, the amount of food left was 200 grams. What's the amount of fish food left in the bottle at the end of the 5th day? So this means that 18 days, right? Basically, it says here 1 out of 7 bottle left. Okay, so we can also do the reverse, saying that 18 days, if the bottle is left 1 minus 1 out of 7, this will give us, that means 6 out of 7 is the bottle is also used. Okay, so in this case, we can say 6 out of 7 of the bottle is equal to 18 days. Right, let me put the arrow over here. Right, so we have 18 bottles as 18 days, right? Then 1 out of 7 bottle is, right, equal to, so you just divide it by 6, 18, right? Divide by 6, this will give us 3 days. So in this case, we know that 1/7 of bottle is 3 days. So 7 out of 7 bottle will then give us 7 times 3 go to 21 days, right? So now we know that 7 out of the whole bottle can last us for 21 days in this sense over here. So we also know that at the end of 19th day, the amount of food left was 500 grams. So in this case, we can say days left after 19th days, right? Or 19th day is equal to 21 minus 19, which is 2 days, right? Oops, 2 days, right? So this means that days left after 19 days. So that means 2 days, we can say that we are left with 200 grams. So what's the total amount of days that we have? So 21 days or full bottle, right, is equal to, so 21 days, this is a 1 day equal to 200 divided by 2 equal to 100 grams. So 21 days is equal to 21 times 100, 2100 grams. Okay, so we know the full bottle. The next part is, what was the amount of fish food left at the fifth day, right? So so fifth day or 5 days is essentially equal to 5 times 100, which is equal to 500 grams. So then that means food left after 50 is equal to 2100 minus 500, and this will become 1600 grams in this case. So the answer to this is 1600 grams. All right, that's about it. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of videos, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to go through next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.